From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM, good morning to you on your Monday. It's April 13th, 2020, also known as
Mackenzie's birthday.
Okay, I was wondering if you're still with me, Kubi. You gonna sing me happy birthday?
No.
She's not going to. This is Community Conversation. Okay, to wonder on my birthday is in the studio with you, and Kabila Jones is joining us by Zoom. Our guest is Emma Agnew. We were trying to get her on Zoom, but I guess we're having a little technical difficulty. Still working this out, so I told her just go ahead and call through the regular phones. Hopefully we'll have her joining in just a moment. Hopefully we don't have additional technical difficulties. We're mixing a lot of technology here, but you know, we're going to continue to educate, entertain, and empower you. So cute. How you doing? How you been maintaining during this period of it's not really a lockdown or a quarantine, but just I guess staying at home?
I'm okay. Unfortunately, I had some personal setbacks, so I had to stay at home anyway. So it's okay. It can be challenging when you're used to kind of getting up, getting out. I do miss the radio station, like being there. I don't miss getting up really early, but I do miss the station. So
well,
hopefully one day I'll get back in there soon.
I'm not a morning person, so I feel you, but trust me, we miss you here in the studio as well. It's just been myself and Brother Cobbs holding down. Speaking of, don't forget, this Wednesday we are having a clothing and supply distribution. I want to thank everyone, shout out everyone who has donated clothing. We got lots of baby clothes, we've got adult clothes, and a lot of this stuff is brand new still, got the tag on it still in the bag. I mean, we had people who actually just went to stores and just bought up a whole bunch of stuff and said, here, we just want to give it to those in need. So that will take place all day Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. All you got to do is just come by. We will be outside the trailer. We'll have tables set up. Remember to keep that social distancing 6 feet apart. We'll also have gloves, so if you want to put on some gloves to peruse through the items, you will be able to do that as well. But we just definitely want to do our part to help those in need who have been affected by the recent tornadoes in Jonesboro and Harrisburg, as well as the ongoing coronavirus, the homeless, and everyone else that is in need. Also got to shout out my hometown, Helena, West Helena. They got hit with a pretty bad storm last night. I don't think it was a tornado. I think it just may have been some severe straight line winds. But both of my cities have been hit the past couple of days, so definitely we got to keep both lifted up in prayer. And I'm still waiting on Miss Agnew. I may have to go ahead and call her on the on the phone. So technically, you're not really supposed to do this like this, but she knows this is her time on the air, so I'm going to go ahead and call her. So let's get Miss Agnew on the phone.
So
Q, you can talk while I get Miss Agnew on the phone.
okay. Well, so I want to let everybody know starting April 19th, that is Volunteer Appreciation Week. We would love to hear from you, the community, why you volunteer. I would love to start like a national or a local movement. Hashtag why.
Okay, yeah, okay, Q, we got Miss Agnew on the phone now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm still trying to.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see you. I didn't see you in the waiting room for the Zoom, but you know we're still trying to get all this figured out.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to finish loading. It was slow this morning, but I'm in there now. But I was playing around with a virtual background, and so I'm in there, but the virtual background has got everything mixed up. So I was trying to remember how to take this virtual background off.
Yeah, they got me too. But we'll just do the phone because you know we don't want to take away from your time because I know that you got a lot to talk about.
Okay, I don't know if I got that much to talk about or not, but anyway. All right. Okay.
All right, so Ms. Agnew, what's the latest updates with the Craighead County NAACP?
Well, the latest updates is, of course, we are concerned, as everyone else is, about this coronavirus and making sure that our community stays safe. And, you know, we have seen on the news lately that black people are dying at a much higher rate than other communities. You know, when this thing first came out, there was some rumor going around, whether in jest or seriously, that black people couldn't get the coronavirus. But of course, that was a myth, and it is disproportionately affecting black people. So I just wanted to make sure that we caution everyone to take all the precautions and remain safe and be vigilant, social distance. You know, we tend to like to gather. It's part of our culture and our nature, but we have to keep that social distance at this time.
Hello?
Black people are getting it at a higher rate is because of the underlying conditions that we have. So, you know, we are predisposed to diabetes and high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity. And so all of these things are things that contribute to COVID-19, the coronavirus. So we do encourage you to social distance, to take all the necessary hygiene precautions, and stay in unless you just have to go out. And of course, another reason is that, you know, a lot of us have to work. We can't afford to be off because we have jobs that don't pay when we're off. And so unfortunately, you know, a lot of us are still working in jobs on the front line, you know, whether it be fast food factories or whatever. So we're actually still working. So that's another reason. So just, you know, be careful. And, you know, if you don't want to transmit that to other folks. So, you know, so now they're encouraging you to wear masks when you go out. And so part of that is to keep from transmitting something that you may not even know you have, because we know that this can be dormant for a couple of weeks now, and you not even know you have anything. So definitely wanted to talk about that and make the community aware that we really need to be careful, that we need to protect ourselves and our loved ones when we go out. So that was the first thing that I wanted to make sure we talked about this morning. And then also, you know, these are very trying times, but we still have to remember that we will have an election in November. And so we still want to make sure people remember to register to vote. So please, if you have not registered, register to vote. We had planned to do a voter registration drive, of course, in coordination with KLEK. And because of the current situation, we're not able to do that right now as we had planned. But we still have some kind of virtual voter registration drive to just encourage people to vote, to get the necessary information that they need to vote, and make sure they get registered to vote and get that registration form mailed in, turned in, whatever, so they will be ready to vote in the November election. So we need all hands on deck. We need everybody voting. So we need you to make sure that you're registered to vote.
So, Mrs. Agnew, are you concerned that if this coronavirus situation is still going on election day, that there could be a decrease in turnout, especially among the minority community that typically does not always vote in the large numbers as compared to other races?
Yes, we are very concerned about that. So one of the things now that they are attempting in Congress is to do paper ballots. And of course, the Senate is opposed to doing the paper ballots because that's one way that people will, be able to vote. But so, we're hoping that that passes. And so if the coronavirus is still around, and God forbid that it's not, but if it is, then people will be able to vote by paper ballot if they registered. Yeah, it is a concern. It is a huge concern that if the virus is still around, people will not go out, and understandably so. A lot of elderly and sick people may not be comfortable going out in the crowds.
Kabil, did you have a question?
Well, Ms. Emma touched on earlier what I was going to ask at first. I saw on my Facebook feed someone basically questioned a local NAACP leader. I don't know what city this was. So anyway, they asked him about, what were they doing to
Q, hold
help
up.
encourage
Q,
individuals,
hold up.
especially in the Black community.
Ms. Agnew, you say you couldn't hear Q?
I couldn't hear.
Oh, I guess that may be something we need to address. So, Q asked the question, and I'll ask it to Ms. Agnew. For some reason, I guess she didn't get it when you asked the question to her.
Okay, so bottom line, she already touched on what I was going to ask about, but basically, what can the NAACP do during this time to really encourage people? Are they working on PSAs or things of that nature to show that their leadership is still present in the community?
Okay, so the question is, what is the NAACP doing during this time to encourage people to vote and to let them know that their vote still matters, it still counts?
Okay, well, basically, like I said, we were planning to do do a voter registration drive, but that just hasn't happened, and so we're going to be doing a virtual voter registration drive online through social media, and just encouraging people to make sure that they get out and vote. It's register to vote, and then if they get out and vote, and hopefully things will be running a little more smoothly by then as far as the virus is concerned, and we can arrange some rides, because we plan to arrange rides to the polls for those who needed them. But this thing with this COVID-19 has just affected all walks of life, and so it's just really a challenge to do anything community-wise. But we're doing our best, Quabila, to still encourage people to register and to vote. And also the census, we will be encouraging the census also at the same time. So we're going to be encouraging people to go ahead. The census you can actually do online, so there's actually no excuse for anyone not being counted in the census. So, we want to encourage everybody to fill that census form out, to go online and fill that census form out and be counted. It doesn't take long. It takes you 5 minutes or less to fill it out and get that turned in. It translates into dollars for our community, for programs, so we really think it's important. We know it's important that you go ahead and be counted because the world is going to go on after this passes. We have to make sure that we continue to have a say and a voice in how it goes on once this is finally passed.
Okay, I think Q, you had a question.
Yes, this is in reference to the virus, pandemic. As far as the NAACP is concerned, again, going back to showing their leadership in the community, what are some ways that they can encourage people to, either get their health checked, stay inside? Like, I saw a post on Facebook where one of my people that I follow called out somebody saying they weren't doing enough or they weren't doing anything. But I'm not saying that our local chapter is not, and I know they're limited, but what are some ways that our local chapter can still encourage people, especially the black community, to do things to keep themselves safe and healthy?
So the question is, what can the NAACP do to help encourage people to stay safe and healthy during this time?
Well, Betsy, we want to educate people that it is very important to realize that anyone can get this virus. We're not protected because we're black and have melanin in our skin, as was rumored, but anyone can get this virus. And so we just want to encourage people to make sure that you stay safe, that you follow the necessary precautions, that you social distance yourself, and if you don't have to go out, not go out. It's just a matter of, I think, of educating people. It's been said that it doesn't seem like the black community is really taking it seriously. And so we just, want to encourage people to take it seriously, that this is something that anybody can get, and it can kill you.
All right, so Ms. Agnew, go ahead.
We've had, I think, 27 deaths in the state of Arkansas already, and so while that's nowhere near some of the largest cities where the outbreaks have really happened, that's 27 people that would still be here if it wasn't for this virus. So we do want to encourage people to, to just stay safe, to follow the precautions, hygiene, wash your hands, and wipe down surfaces that are touched often, and to just be careful. Just, be mindful that there is something out there that's very dangerous.
All right, so Ms. Agnew, on the local level, of course, Mayor Perrin issued a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. to try to help slow down the spread of the virus, and it's actually generated some controversy. Some people are not quite happy about it. What is the stance of the NAACP locally on this curfew, and how do you feel about it?
Well, let me first say that we have not talked about it as a branch yet, but so I can only speak for me personally as Emma Agnew, and I don't see anything wrong with the curfew. I think it's probably a good idea. It's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm sure if you have an emergency or if you're working, then that's different. But just to cut down on people just being out for no particular reason, or for being out taking care of something that they could have taken care of during the day. So, there's a chance for vandalism too late at night with so many of the stores closed and not operating right now. So, just me personally, we have not met since the curfew was announced, but me as a citizen, as an individual, I think it's a good idea for people to just be in and be safe after 10 o'clock at night. I mean, there's not hardly anything open after 10 o'clock at night. So, but anyway, so that's just my personal opinion.
All right, and with that, Ms. Agnew, we're going to get ready to go into a break, but don't go anywhere. We will be back with more. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Agnew, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
How can you help your child succeed in life? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minutes. When you think of ways to help your child succeed, you may think of helping them with homework, taking them to sports practice, or encouraging them with piano lessons. However, sometimes the best ways to help your child succeed has less.
Q, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
That's a Q.
Give yourself, and if necessary,
That's a Q. You
ask
still
your
there?
child to forgive you for anything you've messed up in your relationship. Then, let go of the parenting mistakes you've made and press on. For more ways to help your child succeed in life, visit imom.com.
Profit organization committed to service to all mankind.
There's one thing we can never have sex without. It's consent. Because sex without it isn't sex. It's rape. They want us to stop sexual assault.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm in Zoom without a picture because I can get that virtual.
Okay, let me.
It doesn't have a picture, but it does have, it should have my name on it.
Okay. Let me. It says joining. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hang up on the phone and then we can get you via Zoom. It says. Well, I'm gonna wait till it says connect. It says connecting to audio.
Okay.
So I'll wait till you're fully connected. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna hang up on here now. Okay. All right, Ms. Agnew.
Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Andy's offers storage units, storage, and moving containers. Details 870-897-7999.
KLEK thanks Charles and Candace Mabry and the staff of Mabry Smokehouse for their support of KLEK and dedication to the Jonesboro community. Mabry's offers Texas-style barbecue, beef brisket, pulled pork, ribs, rib tips, chicken wings, smoked sausage, barbecue fries and nachos, sides, and desserts. Located 1504 Red Wolf Boulevard, Jonesboro. Open 11 to 8 Tuesday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday. More info, Mabry Smokehouse on Facebook.
The Office of Diversity and Community Engagement at Arkansas State University, under the leadership of Dr. Maurice Gibson, is a proud supporter of KLEK and is dedicated to finding innovative ways to advance their mission of creating a diverse and inclusive environment, conducive to educating, enhancing, and enriching lives, uplifting various and diverse groups, on the A-State campus and striving to maintain Arkansas State University a place that is inclusive to all individuals regardless of origin, color, religion, socioeconomic status, or sexual orientation. More information about the Arkansas State University Office of Diversity and Community Engagement is available at www.astate.edu/diversity and 870-972-3081.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, where we are joined by our very own Quabila Jones and Mrs. Emma Agnew via Zoom. So, Mrs. Agnew, are you there?
I am here.
All right. Q, are you here?
Yeah.
All right, Q, take it away.
All right, so let's get into some other topics. I know that the NAACP hosts the Image Awards, and what time of the year is that usually held?
September.
Okay.
We have actually, and thanks for asking, but we have actually set a date of September the 11th.
Okay.
And it will be at the Glass Factory this year.
Okay.
Beyond that, we have not had any other plans so far. So we are believing and trusting and praying and hoping that we will be able to move forward in September. But yeah, so that will be on September the 11th at the Glass Factory.
All right, and so I know last year there was a bit of a struggle trying to get people nominated for the different categories. So hopefully this year, people will see, okay, these are real awards to be won, and we need to highlight and recognize people that are doing great things in our
Right, yeah, and we have so many people in our community that we can recognize. Actually, Reverend Agnew has been asked if he would chair the Image Awards this year, and so he will be chairing the Image Awards, and so he's already set up a committee, and so we're getting a little earlier start. We are really hopeful that we will get more nominations than last year. I don't know why people were hesitant not to nominate people for the Image Awards last year, but like, as you say, hopefully since they see they're real awards and it's a real event and, people actually show up that we'll get a few more nominations.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to watch the annual, the Image Awards that comes on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we can do that here. We could have it could be just as big and spectacular here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Nominated, and they're wonderful people doing wonderful things in this community, and especially during this time. I know it seems like this whole virus is like the talk of it's the topic of every conversation now.
I know. Yeah.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Really, because of it, people are starting to have different conversations, or they're starting to have different awareness about their life and going forward. And
right. Yeah. 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 So then, that might be a good thing. You have time when you're sitting home to reflect on what you're doing and what you could have been doing, what you should have been doing. And so you just have a little more time to reflect and to think. And hopefully some of that's going on instead of just sitting on the couch all day watching TV or whatever. I've done a fair amount of TV watching myself, but I do try to be mindful that there are other things still going on. Life is going on even in the midst of this COVID-19, but you're absolutely right. It's just on the top of everyone's mind. It is generally the full news. It's what takes up the news hour, 30 minutes or whatever. But anyway, it's a pretty serious thing. So I guess I understand that.
Well, has this pandemic spurred any ideas for ways that NAACP can, I'm not going to say become more involved, but um, maybe add or adjust how they interact with the community as far as what issues to advocate for? We know now, okay, children are at home with their parents or caregiver, and they're having to do schoolwork online. Well, they're missing out on those services that they would normally get in
Mm-hmm.
school, counseling, the IEPs, um, and mental health services, and other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that education is a big portion of what
Right. Yeah.
he advocates for. So going forward, have you all, I mean, have the executive board had a chance to have discussions on what are some things that we can really advocate for? Where do we see a need that needs to be met? You know?
Uh, you know what? We have not talked specifically in relation to the virus, but the things that we've always talked about um, are still there.
Okay.
We've always talked about the education and our children and healthcare and about our prison system and about economic development, community involvement and engagement. And so we've always talked about those things and others. And so nothing new has come up at this point. Um, but that's something to think about. The general membership meeting is the third Monday,
Okay.
and we will actually be doing a conference call because we won't be meeting. So this will be the first general membership meeting we've had since the virus outbreak. We just canceled the first one because, you know, because of everything that was going on. I think everybody was so shocked and, so we just canceled the March meeting. So April will be the first general membership meeting we've had. And so it wouldn't surprise me if some things will come up with specifics to the coronavirus. But that's a good question.
And even, as you mentioned with healthcare, we're seeing some disparities in that field as well. When it comes to, again, minorities getting the proper treatment.
Right. Yeah.
Again, because the virus is so front and center, there are other issues that are not either being discussed
Right.
treated. It's almost like if you're in the hospital, you have to be almost on death's door. Or
Right. Yeah.
like it's no one, I'm gonna say no one, but they're very selective. And people are now having to go alone. No one wants to be alone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And even when you're there sick, you're alone. If they, you go and you're admitted because of what you have, whether it's the virus or not. You're alone because people can't see you. And then even with the virus, when you go home, you're in quarantine for a couple of weeks, so people still can't see you. So yeah, you're right. When you're sick, you really don't want to be alone, but people are being alone. But you're absolutely right, Camila, in that while the coronavirus is taking up a huge effort with the medical community, there are other people who are sick from something that's not related to the virus. And because of the virus, they're not always getting the care and the treatment that they need. So you're absolutely right. And, I don't know what can be done about that right now. If someone has ideas, we'd love to hear them. But I'm just not sure what can be done about that. A lot of the doctors' offices aren't really seeing patients like they were. And then going into the hospital is a lot of us don't go see doctors because of insurance. And then going into the hospital is a little bit different now because of the coronavirus. So, but yeah, that's a challenge, and that's why it's so important for people to just try to stay safe. Stay safe, be cautious, and wash your hands. Do the precautions that is suggested. This is not the time to rebel. So let's take the necessary precautions and wipe down surfaces, and keep everything as clean as possible.
All right. I want to ask this question concerning, I know that NAACP advocates for well, I want to tread lightly on that, but okay. Social justice, I'm going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are many people in the prison systems that are, again, not being treated fairly during this time, again, because of the virus. They really don't have a choice of their housing to a degree.
Right.
So they are at much higher risk for spreading, and the virus is continuously to circulate within the prison system.
Mm-hmm.
People are not necessarily getting the medical treatment that they need. Understand they're criminals, they committed a crime, however, they're still human beings.
Right.
So I don't know what role NAACP can or does play when it comes to advocating for social justice behind bars, or is that, I'm sure, I will hope that EMA's group, Future of Felons, and some other prison reform groups would be kind of stepping up. Again, I don't know, because I try to stay on a lot of news, but
I will say that right now the Civil Liberties Union has reached out to the state NAACP and asked that we join them in encouraging Governor Hutchinson to ask the well, I won't say ask, maybe that's not the right word, to pass some kind of law, or some kind of statement or something. I'm kind of like you, I'm not really sure of the right words, but anyway, to reduce the prison population. So some other states have done that to cut down on the spread of the virus. Those folk who are in there for misdemeanors, to maybe let them go at this point until later, or something of that nature. So so we're going to be working with Governor Hutchinson. I'm not sure at this point if it will be a letter writing campaign, but that is definitely a serious concern, and about local jails, and I think even federal prisons. Now they've had one case of somebody in federal prison with the virus, and so we want to certainly join in that campaign to make sure that people who, they shouldn't have a death sentence because they made a foolish mistake, like running a red light and not paying a fine or something, So, but anyway, so we're going to join in that fight through the state as a state NAACP with the American Civil Liberties Union, and requesting that Governor Hutchinson look into requesting or stating that misdemeanors should not be held now, because the jails are already they're overcrowded anyway. So this would also help with the overcrowding and the spreading of the disease.
Okay. So can we expect maybe some PSAs or any type of literature directly from NAACP, or is it something that happens on the state level or the national level, and then they pass it down to you all to distribute. Just encouraging messages, information, things people need to know today.
Well, we can certainly do that. As I say, we have not met as a general body, and we'll be meeting this month via phone. But I think I can safely say no one would object to encouraging messages and PSAs or whatever. But because we definitely want to let the community know that we are here for them. This is the community's NAACP, and we are concerned. And so if that's a good idea to just, and I'm sure it is, encouraging words are always a good idea. So, but yeah, so we can do that. And of course, we plan to do something with the voter registration anyway, some PSAs or whatever. But anyway, but yeah, we'll definitely do something like that for people. Thanks for that idea. That's a great idea.
I think during this time, and not just from the NAACP, but I think that people are encouraged when they see their leaders step up and speak out and speak up, and let people know, okay, we were working for you before this happened. We're still working for you now. We're still concerned about what you're concerned about. So and this goes to all the leaders in our community, everyone in any position you feel. Let people know that you're still here and you're concerned. I know that, everyone has a family, everyone has other obligations and other concerns, but we are still a community of people who love each other, hopefully,
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that's one thing, I've been pretty much, my husband and I have just been pretty much at home, but, I see on the news how different organizations and groups in the community have, even KLEK, collecting food and clothing, because in addition to the COVID-19, we've been hit with 2 tornadoes in the area and one that ripped right through Jonesboro. And so people who are gathering needed items or whatever. And so this is definitely a community who steps up when things are dire, when things look dire, when people are in need. And so we appreciate all of that. But yeah, we're definitely still a community that loves each other. And in that, while we're on that light, I would just like to say also that we really appreciate KLEK just continuing on and trying to keep the community informed and educated about what's going on. So, and we ask you guys, we pray for your safety and ask that you just be cautious and careful as you go about what you do also.
I miss going to the studio. I'm very happy for technology.
Right, yeah. And yes, I apologize so you can't see my face this morning, but but anyway, yeah, this technology has been really great. But I do want to add before we run out of time, and I'm sure everyone already knows this, but I just, we were talking about the virus, the stimulus package has been passed. And so each adult will be getting a $1,200 check. So if there are 2 of you in the house, then there will be 2 $1,200 checks, and $500 for each child. So if you have 2 children, 2 adults and 2 children, that's $3,400 that will be coming, and the checks are being mailed. I think the first wave of checks have already been received. If you file income tax, if you receive disability, Social Security, you don't have to do anything. So if you are not in any of that category, you do need to file a short income tax form to make sure that you receive your money. So I just wanted to reiterate that, because I know during this time it's just so important that you all know what you need to do to receive that. that you get that, because we definitely want you to get that. And they're already working on a second stimulus package as well. So
Now, I did also read that some people will get direct deposit based on how you filed, and even people that get the Social Security benefits, they could
yeah,
possibly get direct
right. Direct deposit is always preferable. So if they have your banking information, you will get direct deposit.
And with that, and with that, ladies, we got to get ready to leave it there. We're getting up against our break.
I understand it's going to take about a month for you to get a paper check.
All right, and we got to leave it there. We're getting ready to go up against the break.
They should be coming pretty soon.
All right, we have more with Mrs. Emma Agnew of the Craighead County NAACP in about 3.5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. This is Community Conversations on KLEK on 2.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. When is the right time to combine your finances in a relationship? Examples of financial intimacy include opening joint bank accounts, co-signing on an apartment lease, and sharing access to your credit cards. Engaging in financial intimacy prematurely can have major negative consequences for your financial health, including your credit. Here's what you need to consider. What do you really know about your love interest's financial habits? Don't go by assumptions or what you're told, but what you can learn by observation. Does your sweetheart abuse credit cards? Does he or she honor financial commitments? Does he or she contribute to a retirement account, or are they counting on the lottery to fund their retirement? Once you combine your money, your finances will be affected by your honey's financial habits and vice versa. If you're not sure, especially after a year or more, or if your partner resists or resents your efforts to learn more about how they handle money, do not mix your finances. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Guide Right Jonesboro Kappa League, a nonprofit organization that guides young men to a life of achievement. Kappa League Jonesboro on Facebook, Jonesboro_Kappa League on Instagram, and Jonesboro Kappa League at gmail.com.
KLEK is a nonprofit community radio station and has to rely on the support of listeners like you to continue to give a voice to the community. For the cost of a meal for two, just $20 a month will go a long way to ensure you will get the music and information you need. Please take a moment and fund your support to KLEK. Every donation will help us continue this radio station, giving local people a voice on the airwaves. Our goal is to get 100 new donors. Please consider donating. No donation is too small. Learn more at klekfm.org. This portion of KLEK programming can be made possible by your business. Your support will help in educating, entertaining, and empowering the community by supporting local talent, serving the community you love, and providing information on issues you care about from a different perspective. Call 870-203-9951 or visit klekfm.org to learn how we can help connect you more with the community.
KLEK thanks the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life, such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
KLEK 102.5 FM salutes small businesses. Small businesses promote local character and success, keeping money in the local economy entrepreneurship, community well-being, and so much more. Contact us today to learn more on how your small business could be featured on KLEK for as little as $25 per month.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, wrapping up our segment with Mrs. Emma Agnew, Craighead County Chapter of the NAACP President. Let's go ahead and get into our Facebook shout-out, see if we had any. I know we had a couple people on earlier. Well, I'm not seeing them now, but we do got some people watching. All right, Kubila?
All right, so lastly, I was just looking at a story about a tornado. There's been tornadoes hitting everywhere, and I know Jonesboro has been impacted greatly. From a story that I read, Jonesboro hadn't had a tornado hit since like 1970 something.
Yeah, a long time.
And so it's like now we're in this moment of this PTSD. Like every time it rains hard, the winds get high. You know, we're just in fear of, okay, what's happening now? What's going to happen now? And there are communities all around us, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, just within a matter of a week, you know, all these states and these towns are being hit. So, you know, also during this time of people trying to just get their life back together, what are some ways NAACP has helped or can help or just reach out to people? Or in what are ways you can, what are some encouraging words you can give us, the community, to help reach out to our neighbors?
Okay, I'm not sure what you're asking me. Encouraging words about what?
Well, okay, after the tornado, people are trying to put their lives back together. As if
okay.
You know, we're dealing with enough with the coronavirus, but now we're like trying to put our lives back together for those that were affected.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one. That, you know, I would just want to encourage people to just realize and remember that, you know, we are stronger than we think we are. You know, we're strong people, and we will get through this. You know, by the grace of God, we will all get through this and come through on the other side better and stronger. And so, you know, I would just encourage people to just, you know, be careful and take precautions with this virus going on while you're cleaning up and trying to rebuild your life. There are funds available to help. I'm not sure what that process looks like, but, you know, our small business community has been devastated also, and, you know, there's just so much going on. But, you know, I would just say, I would just want to encourage people to stay strong, to, you know, just hang in there. You know, you have the power within you to be great, to do great, to come through this on the other side stronger and more powerful than you were before. So, you know, we personally just, you know, lift everyone up that's in prayer that's been devastated by this storm, and certainly those who have been infected by the virus. And, you know, just stay strong. That the community loves you, and, you know, we want to support you in whatever way we can. And just hang in there. You know, right now it's hard to even go to church. So go to church and get a word and, you know, some fellowship and love. So I know it's tough right now, but we got this. We can do this.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so just to wrap up, the census. Now, I wonder, or have you heard any word as far as there was like a big hiring, you know, push at one point to get enumerators? But because of the virus now, have you heard anything about how they're going to handle the people who don't do their census form online? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, they are mailing out a lot of census forms. So I'm sure a lot of people will get U.S. mail. We got ours in the mail. And so the mail is an option. And I'm not real sure right now how they're going to do the numerators for people who didn't get mail or don't have access to do them online. But I'm sure something will be done for that. Whether it's just go by and put it in the mailbox and come by and pick it back up or something, I don't know, but I'm sure there will be something comes up to make sure that everybody gets counted, because this is, everybody really needs to get counted.
Yeah, so everybody, please, please, please. I did mine, I guess, a little over a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, my letter came with a code, and I did it on my phone. It took literally 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't take long at all. So yeah, we just ask everybody to please do that. And if you're listening and have not received anything by mail and don't have access to the internet, to please reach out. I mean, even if you just reach out to the station, to KLEK, reach out to someone and let them know. You can actually call the census, and we can help you with getting that number and that information. I don't think anybody has it handy right now, but we can definitely get that information for you to call and request a form. But yeah, don't just sit home if you haven't filled it out, haven't seen it or anything. Yeah, let us help you get counted.
Because we get money allocated to our community, and we know right now we need all the money we can get to help rebuild.
Right. I mean, and this money affects things like SNAP benefits. It affects disability checks and Social Security checks. It affects economic development money, money that the city gets for rebuilding in low income areas. It affects a lot of stuff, and a big portion of it is in underserved communities. It benefits underserved communities, a great portion of it. So please, 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 we need you to be counted.
And there's a lot of talk about revitalizing the north side of town. So we need people to definitely get counted so that we can help fund facilities or projects to uplift
45
seconds.
seconds.
Again, not just the north side, but all of our community. But okay. So we thank you so much.
Yeah. NAACP membership is still just $30 a year. Please, please, please join NAACP. We're in the midst of a membership campaign right now.
All right, Ms. Agnew, we gotta leave it there. But NAACP, they are looking for members, so go join.
All right.
You guys have a great and blessed day. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.